Hi guys, this video is going to cover how to propagate Pilea Peperomioides. So this is my Pilea plant here. It's also known as the UFO plant, the Pancake Plant, the Plant, Friendship Plant, or the Chinese money plant. So it goes by plenty of names, but it's all the same plant. It has grown in popularity very substantially over the last number of years, and thankfully it's much more widely available than it used to be and a lot more affordable than it used to be, which is great. It's also really easy to propagate, and that's what we're going to cover in this video. My name's Andrew from Smart Garden Guide, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video and maybe learn something. Okay, so Pilea Peperomioides grows from a rhizome, which basically a rhizome is like an underground stem, and from this stem new shoots will grow up and new roots will grow down. Now the good thing about this is it can throw up a new baby plant anywhere in the pot. So as this plant grows, the rhizome expands and fills the pot, and new little baby pileas will start growing just of their own accord without you even doing anything. And that's what this plant has been doing. It has got 2 little pilea babies growing from the rhizome at the edges of the pot. But even better than that, the Pilea Peperomioides can also grow offshoots from its main stem, and these can be separated with a sharp knife, and you can propagate them also. So we're just going to separate this baby pilea from the stem, and we'll also take one of the ones from the rhizome, and then I'll show you how I propagate them in water and also in soil. Okay, so when you're separating your pileas, you want to use a sharp blade, and you want to make sure that it's nice and clean. I've just got a wee blade here, and what I'm going to do for you now is we're going to separate the little pilea from the main stem of the plant. Okay, and it should come away nice and easily. And what I'm doing is I'm just trying to take this little baby pilea away as close to the main stem of the plant as I can without damaging the main stem. So that's it away. So we should now have, yes, so we've actually got some roots attached to this, and we've got a fresh cut stem, and we'll be able to propagate that in water or in soil. The other one we've got here is a little baby growing from the rhizome on the side of the pot, and this again is really easy to separate from the parent plant. You just really want to feel down to the bottom of the stem and see if you can feel the rhizome with your fingers, and it's at this point that you want to cut into the rhizome, and the rhizome is reasonably soft and should cut very, very easily with a sharp blade. I usually leave about 1 to 2 centimeters of rhizome on the baby plant, just to give the baby plant plenty of opportunity to grow. So I'm just cutting through that now. Okay, and now that we've sort of cut through the main rhizome, we can probably just separate the rest of this just manually. You do need to be a wee bit careful because the leaves come in these big long petioles, and they can get tangled up together, and it's very easy to take one of them off when you're trying to separate the 2 plants. So just taking a little bit of time does help. Okay, so there we go. That's quite a substantial baby pilea. So as you can see, that's not going to have any trouble establishing itself in soil, but the other option is you can propagate it in water. So we've now got 2 babies. What do we do with them? Well, I've got a few that I've been working on previously, and we'll just bring them in. So you can either propagate these in soil or water. If I was propagating them in soil, all I would do is just prepare a couple of pots for each one. I've got just a general houseplant potting mix here. To it, I've added some perlite for added drainage. It's about 20% perlite. I've pre-moistened the soil. Sometimes when you get houseplant potting mix, it is quite dry and it almost repels water when you first water it. So you don't want to position your plant nice and carefully and then try and water it, and it'll only upset the little baby plant. So I've really moistened this already to make sure that the plant you can settle in very, very nicely. Once you've got your pot ready to go and you're ready to plant your pilea in soil, First, make a hole in the soil so that you're not having to push your Pilea plant down into the soil. And this might damage the delicate roots, so I just like to use a wee skewer and just make a little hole in the middle of the soil, a few inches deep, and then you can go ahead and plant your Pilea into it. Okay, and you just want to gently firm the soil around your little Pilea baby. These guys are quite resilient, so they'll generally take very, very easily. And we'll just do the same with the other one. So we'll take this out of our outside pot. Again, make a wee hole in the soil. And this other plant's a bit bigger, so we'll make a more substantial sized hole. And then we'll just gently firm our plant into the pot and press the soil around it. Okay. So once you've these planted up, it's really important to keep the soil generally moist, keep them somewhere nice and warm with consistent temperatures, and ideally somewhere with high humidity. This really helps because it will take a few days at least for the roots to settle into the pot and start absorbing water, and it'll prevent the plant drooping and wilting in the interim. So that's them obviously potted up in soil. The other option is you can propagate your plants in water, and this is particularly helpful whenever you have a Pilea baby without many roots, or even if you want to take a single leaf cutting, which I'll cover at the end. If you put them in water, they are less likely to droop, and it'll just give them a chance to grow roots a little bit easier, and it does increase the success rate, I think, of growing roots, although you want to transfer them into soil when the roots are maybe 1 to 2 inches long, because sometimes if you leave them too long in water, they can actually struggle to establish themselves in soil when you do move them. So I've got another couple of Pilea babies here that have been in water. Try to lift this up here. They've been in water for about 2 weeks, and as you can see, they're doing very, very nicely. So the first one was a little Pilea baby that was growing from the rhizome. So this really didn't need to be water propagated, but as you can see, even after 2 weeks, it's growing a lot of roots and doing really, really nicely. This little tiny Pilea baby was growing directly out from the stem, and this, I think, demonstrates where water propagation is so helpful, because this plant's in great condition, it's growing loads of roots, and it's ready to be propagated into soil, and it's going to thrive once it gets in there. Now, the other thing that you can do with Pileas is you can, well, some people wonder, can you propagate them from a single leaf? And the answer is yes and no. Pileas grow their leaves out on these big long petioles, and if you cut the petiole in the middle, it won't root. Okay, now I've done a few of these here to demonstrate. So this Pilea leaf was cut in the middle of the petiole, and it's just starting to rot. It's not growing any roots whatsoever. However, if you cut the petiole off right at the base and take a little sliver of stem with you, with your cutting, then it's this little, tiny fragment of stem that is able to produce roots. That's exactly what I've done here. I've cut a single leaf on its big long petiole, but I've just taken a wee tiny bit of the stem of the parent plant. It hasn't really harmed the parent plant. The parent plant will be fine, but now this one's growing roots. This is quite short. I might leave this in water for another week or two, but maybe once I see another few roots developing, I'll just pot that up in soil and it should grow into an adult plant as well. So there we have it. Pilea Peperomioides, easy to propagate. It does produce loads of little baby plants, and you can pot them up in soil, you can water propagate them, you can give them away, or you can just grow a really big collection of Pilea Peperomioides houseplants. They are fantastic. I hope this has been a helpful video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. And please, if you have enjoyed this, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to try and produce lots more videos over the coming weeks and months. All right, till the next time, guys. All the best. Bye.